Hello everyone, this is gonna be my first recorded PB for, well, I guess my first submitted PB for the Zachtronics Solitaire collection. This will also serve as my first submission video for marathons. So the run's looks like the run's starting now. So yeah. This game is essentially a minigame collection of sorts. Zachtronics is a studio that has made a lot of hard puzzle games over the years, and each of them has come with, and at some point they started all coming with sort of a solitaire minigame of sorts. And yeah, this is a compilation of the 8 different games that they've made. We start off with a really tough one because that's just what you do when you're going for PBs. But thankfully, if I'm gonna do this game in a live setting, we'll just do them in order. So this will be the one we're ending on. So this game is first of all, this game is pretty unique in that we're using a tarot deck of sorts. So alongside with the usual 52 cards, there's also 22 major arcana cards, which mean this game gets quite bulky and it's quite tough to deal with everything, as you can see. So to explain a bit of what's going on, we have to build up the minor arcana. Those are the usual playing cards on the top right in ascending order. And then the major arcana go to the top left, and they can be built in both directions at once. So from 0 upwards and from 21 downwards. Now what makes this game super interesting on top of that is that the stacks don't move in like the usual way, but instead you can see they move into a sort of slinky pattern. If you move a stack, then you have to also infer the order along with it. And that means that the one free space in the middle that we start out with, we really want to make sure that that one's available to us for the entirety of the game, since we need that bit of extra freedom to be able to basically turn a stack over if we end up needing to make the movement work. This game also gives us a free cell, which basically can hold a single card on the top right. You may have seen some of it, but maybe it will come up a bit later. However, yeah, as you see there, the 5 of swords is over there, but then the big drawback of that is when the free cell's occupied, we cannot push the minor arcana cards on the foundation. So that actually limits our movements quite a bit. As you can see, I had to move the 5 off before all of those wheel cards would move to the stacks, move to the foundations. So in terms of strategy, this actually becomes a really hard game because we both need to be very conservative with the space we're given, and we need to really make sure that the movements that we're going for actually end up working out, because it is really easy to just completely lock up this game, far more than any of the other games that you're gonna see here. So yeah, that's why this game takes a while. You can do things quite fast, but so far I've been focusing mostly on consistency, so that's so then the 4-minute time is sort of what you sort of expect to get. But thankfully we're out of the clear now, and in the run I'm moving on to a second really tough game which is Kabufuda Solitaire. Now, the cards that you're seeing here, they technically have values from like 1 to 10, but for the this game's mechanics, that's just not important. We just you just match. You can match stack identical cards on top of each other, and we have to basically just sort out all of them into sets of 4. And this game starts out with 1 free cell on the top right. You see 3 spaces that are unused. We actually have to unlock those spaces as we go on. Basically, as you can see there, placing a complete set on the tableau will basically just will lock up that space for the rest of the game, but we get a free cell in return. So in essence, that means that there's some moves that are possible before moving, moving a stack on the table, and some moves are only possible after you move a stack on the table. And that makes this game like really janky, quite unintuitive compared to a lot of the other games. And so that's why so far it sort of appears early on in the run. In my experience, it's something that I could definitely have gotten used to. So as you can see here, we actually have 3 stacks under the top now, and that means we've won already. You can't lose after that. And now we move to Sawayama Solitaire. This is this is the one that's not a fully original game. It's derived from what most people would probably think of when you see Solitaire. It's a game that got popular off of being on early installations of Windows. But there are some differences here. The free space, when an empty space is available on the tableau, we can move any card on top of it. That's actually not the case in Windows Solitaire. But as a trade-off, the stack that we're dealing out of, we only get to go through the stack once. We do not get any redos whatsoever. So, nevertheless, this is, I would say, one of the more straightforward games. Although it can be a bit random to like actually get a decent clear out of it. I just basically try to get the foundations on the left started, and then to sort out the tableau as much as possible before we're done with dealing out cards, and then hopefully we have enough space to like go back through the discards and complete the game out like that. In this case, what I had to do is to sort of build the foundations a bit forward to like make room on the tableau. This can be quite janky, so like rounds where you have to do something like this tend to be a bit slower. But yeah, there's a lot of on-the-fly thinking that you gotta do, so like I'm still sort of starting out with doing runs of this, so it's often quite tricky to find like the correct way forward here, especially when things are like not don't get like super straightforward, I guess. Yeah, I never got a lot of room to like move around here. In theory, you can like stack all the cards onto four stacks on the tableau, which would give you 3 free spaces, but in this case I never really got more than one. So now we move on to Sigmar's Garden, the only one that isn't card based. So we have this field of marbles on the board, and we can basically clear them out in pairs. Different kinds of marbles have different sort of matching rules. A game isn't like long enough to go through all of them, but that's not super important. The big thing is the metals, the sort of sequence you can see on the bottom right of the legend. There's 6 different kinds of metals, and the first 5 we have to match each of them with quicksilvers, but they have to be in a specific order. So that's sort of the element of the board that is like most likely to bottleneck our progress, and that's sort of what defines sort of the route I would be taking through the grid. This was a round where I had to use the one of the salts really early on. They act as a joker of sorts. They can match with themselves or with any of the 4 cardinal elements: earth, wind, water, and fire. But if you do that, then there's an odd amount of that element left, and that means you have to plan out a way to get another one of those kind of joker usages later on, or else you're gonna get stuck. But we move on to Proletariat's Patience. This is a pretty straightforward game. We just want to stack the numbered cards in alternating suits, in alternating colors. I'm sorry, and then the honor cards, where you can you sort of only really see the suit there. You just they just matched by suits in any order. So that's all pretty straightforward, but this game ends up being rather sharp, I would say. You have to make 8 stacks on the table. They do not go away if you complete them, and you only have like 9 slots available. So you rarely ever get more than one empty space available to like move stuff around with. So yeah, in this case I made a mistake somewhere on and got stuck. That's just kind of unfortunate about. That's just mostly unlucky, I guess. There are some ways to sort of play around them, but it's hard to like be able to apply all of them while still like keeping up the pace of a speedrun. But yeah, I'll stop talking for a short minute and enjoy the gameplay, I guess. Alright, so now we move on to Cribbage Solitaire. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to explain this in time. So this is, unlike the other Solitaire games, this is a score-based game. We play cards from the right side onto the stack. We when we make certain combinations, we get points for them, and we need 61 points to win, which is, as you can see, the scoreboard on the left. The scoring is sort of based off of the game of cribbage, which is a very old card game with a really janky scoring system. So, of course, this game, the scoring is going to be pretty janky as well. And I just realized my notes are absolutely useless because when I made them, I was looking at the wrong attempt. So, the sequences that I've made there to like describe what's going on, they're completely worthless. So, okay, as you can see here, the triplet of 9s. For the second 9, you get 2 points. For the third 9, you get 6 points. And in theory, if there was a fourth 9 available, then that would score 12 points. That sounds like something that racks up really quickly. What can rack up even faster is the scoring for runs. So as you can see, the 4, 3, 5, you can rearrange them to make a run 3, 4, 5 of consecutive cards, and that scores 3 points. For longer runs, you get to score more points on every card that sort of extends the sequence. So that's like an absolute that's usually like the main sort of way to score in this game. Now you see the stacks, they reset occasionally. The stack have like a certain value based on the cards that you play under them. You add up all of those values, and it can never exceed 31. If a card would exceed 31, then you just can't play it. And if you can't play any card, then you have to reset the stack. So as you can see there, that was like a really big run, chained run that you saw there. This one's also taken me quite a while to sort of get the hang of it. Thankfully, that sort of ended there. And now we move on to Klooch Solitaire. We have to basically build 4 stacks that are go ace to 6. We're playing with the Russian card names, so like the honors are named differently. It goes T for ace, then K for king, D for queen, and V for jack. What makes this game interesting is that, as you can see here, I'm actually allowed to place any single card that's basically completely mismatched. The main restriction in that is, if I then want to move that card again, I have to make sure that it can move to a position that does match. I cannot move a card from a mismatched position directly to another mismatched position. And so this is another game where there's sort of critical amount of freedom that I am trying to preserve. As long as I have one free space and a stack that does not have a cheaty card onto it, then I can sort of use those to rearrange all of the other cheaty cards in whatever order I want. We're already done there, so we move on to the last game, which is Shenzhen Solitaire. The cards here, they are derived from Mahjong tiles, so you have numbered cards that go 1 through 9 in 3 different suits, and then 4 sets of dragon tiles, and then the flower card that does nothing. It's just filler so that the stacks sort of are evenly sized, start out evenly sized. The numbered tiles, they sort of you stack them in alternating suits like usual. The dragon cards, they do not stack at all. So the way to get rid of them is if all 4 of a set are visible, then you can click a button to like send them send them all to a free space and have them claimed that way. As you can see, this game can go pretty fast because a lot of it is sort of just depends on how the dragon cards are dealt out. As you can see, this one was fairly straightforward. So yeah, that's the end of it, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the run, and yeah, I'm gonna call it there, and enjoy.